All right, we are on air. What's up, Al? What's up, buddy? Welcome back to the
Hey,
show.
Eva, how's it going? Thanks. Thanks for having me again.
I feel like I'm gonna have to start paying you every time you come up here. You have great stories, and I hear you have a really good one for me this time. So, just a quick update for those that haven't listened to the previous episodes. Al is currently stuck in Colombia since when?
Since March.
Since March.
So, I got to Colombia, and a few weeks after, they, we had lockdown, and they shut down the airport, like a week after I got there.
And you actually, like, your home base is actually Germany.
Yeah, in Stuttgart.
So you have been out of your home for a while now. Well, and actually you were...
Since November. I started traveling in November, and I didn't think it was gonna be that long of a trip. But hey, it's been a good trip.
Right, and I mean, we're about to hit a year, so, man, you are either a really lucky person or just horrible luck. But
yeah, I really like it, actually. Like, just embrace the suck. You know?
Right, like, I mean, you've been having a good time, actually, with the whole COVID thing. Like, you've been dealing with it pretty well. And, so far, you had a garage gym going on in your first Airbnb. Then you had to switch to another Airbnb, which now you live in, like, in a freaking mansion. And,
so that was, like, the Jiu Jitsu connection. So, Daniel, I think he wanted to get him on the podcast, like, sometime in the future. He's a Colombian black belt with Gracie Baja, and a friend of his friend got me hooked up with a mansion. So we got, like, an old Narcos mansion, like, for next to free, and it has, like, pools, jacuzzis, we have a gym, like, it's amazing. And we have, like, big mats and everything, so it's pretty good.
Awesome. So, yeah, I got in touch with him briefly on Facebook, so we'll see when we can get him on the show. I still need to get a little bit more information about him.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you making that connection. And
Yeah, cool.
So tell me, what's going on? Like, what happened? What's this big story you have to tell me? Did you get married?
No, I got robbed.
You got robbed?
Yeah. So the mansion got robbed. There was like 6 of us sleeping there. Yeah, weed is bad, I guess. So I guess we smoked a joint too much, and they must have been watching the mansion for a while. They got in, invaded the place with machine guns, whatever the fuck, and they're like, all right, and they took everything. So. Yeah, TVs, computers, laptops, speakers, electronics, fuck, even clothes. Like, they took a lot of stuff. So,
Right,
it's a
because
sucky month.
you sent me a message from a different phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? You're like, yeah, this is my
I
phone
had to
got
get a new
robbed.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All
that
right,
was a
so
fun night.
disclaimer, everyone's okay though, right?
Everyone's fine. No one got killed.
Okay.
It could have went south real quick, but, like, everyone kept their mouth shut, gave them what they wanted. They got out, and it was fine. Yeah. So, we have a top-notch security system in the house now. So a lot of the stuff got replaced already. So a lot of the furniture, a lot of the electronics, everything got replaced. So that's good. We have a security guard outside. And we're also gonna have a live-in security person with us as well. So yeah.
So okay.
So it's like I said, like in the first podcast, I was like, yeah, it's getting worse. And it is getting worse. God damn it! Like people here, Colombia has had the longest quarantine in the world.
So
like they shut everything down in March, and everything is shut down. People can't go to work.
So people are getting desperate now. They're trying to make ends meet.
People are fucked. Yeah.
So do you know?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Do you have any idea who was it that broke into your house? Like, was it cartel wise?
Oh, it could be anyone.
Or okay.
I don't think it's cartel.
You think it was people just really trying to make ends meet and decided to?
I think it was like people like, I don't think cartel is concerned. Like, if anything, cartel's probably renting out our house to us. To be
Right.
honest, I'm not sure, but like whoever did it, like they were somewhat organized, but like I don't know.
Now, I don't want to give like the wrong impression to people listening. This is not to say that Colombia is unsafe as a whole, right? Because
No,
you've been
Colombia's
having a
super
great
safe.
time.
Like I've had a great time. Like I mean, we live in a mansion, so it's like really nice place. So like, we've had guests over and there's delivery drivers, things like that. I don't know, like word gets out, oh, a bunch of gringos are living there. There's only five of them. Place is way too big for five. So we got robbed. Like, yeah, it happens.
And I saw something else too. So, are you like somehow helping people quit their bad vices, like smoking?
I try.
Because I
So
saw a video of you tossing somebody in the pool
yeah.
for smoking.
Yeah, so that's our housemate Emily. She's doing the 75-day challenge, so she's working out like twice a day, 45 minutes each workout. She's not smoking, she's not drinking, blah blah blah. She failed that, but she still wants to quit she still wants to quit smoking. So she was like, "Hey guys, if you ever see me smoking, just dump me in the pool." So every time we see her smoking, we just throw her in the pool with her clothes on and everything.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping that that video was gonna end with you jumping in too, just for moral support.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. Yeah, sometimes, yeah,
Yeah, but
I've
there's
done
no
it before.
video. There's no
Yeah,
video
no
of you.
video. I guess we'll have to do a video of that next time we throw Emily in the pool.
Yep, picture it
Yeah.
didn't happen.
hmm There will be a video number two, I guess.
All right,
Yeah.
so tell me what's next? What's going on? Any idea of when you're going home, or how?
Um, I don't know. I don't care. Like at this point, it's I live in Colombia, I guess. We'll see when the airport opens up. I wrote the German Ausländeamt, like the guys that deal with foreigners that live in Germany and have residencies and stuff like that. I'm like, hey guys, I'd really like to go back, but the airport is closed. There is no humanitarian flights to Europe, or at least to Germany. So there is no way for me to go back. The only way for me to go back is to go to the States and then go to Germany. But if I go to the States, then like the Corona thing, they're gonna be like, no, I don't know.
Right,
So I wrote
you
them an
can't
email. We'll see what's
fly.
gonna happen.
I don't think Americans are allowed to fly to Europe just yet, especially not Germany.
Yeah, so I'm in a bit of a pickle right now. But it's
Mm.
all right. Started a couple of businesses and some partnerships. So last time we talked, like my big thing was growth and becoming a better human being and things like that. And I think I've done a lot of growing since, and like in a lot of ways, like emotionally, financially, just like having better perspective, different perspective. So we're kind of like we started calling the house the hustle house, and now we call it the growth house where we live because everybody's growing and everybody's learning from everyone. So um, one of my roommates, housemates, Josh, I have a master's in marketing, but he has a lot more experience than me. I've been learning a lot from him, and like we're doing a couple of partnerships right now, and it's going like really well. So to be honest, I do like the lockdown. I do like not being on quarantine and having curfew, not being able to go out every day and stuff like that. So this has
Well,
given me a lot of time to like get better with just like different things. Like, yeah.
and I'm glad you're doing that. And that's something that every time we talk, since March, it's something that I have noticed, and that's why I said you're one of the few people that I know that have dealt with the pandemic in a very positive
Yeah.
way. You have found positivity and things to focus on that don't require you to travel just
Yeah.
yet, to go out just yet. You're focusing on what you can do now, and that's something that I've learned from you. Like I've been trying to apply that in my own life, and
hmm
I feel like that's something that a lot of people need to start doing because there's so much negativity, and I feel like for the reason for the negativity is that people are focusing on what they can't do.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Sometimes you don't have the chance to do things, and like sometimes people are in a shitty situation. That's how it is. Sometimes people are in a shitty situation, but they have the means to do something better, and that's when you have to take advantage. And for some people, it's hard to like take advantage and do stuff, especially if they're not at a place to actually do that. So,
Right, but
I
like I mean,
mean,
and like you said, the hustle house, right? So if financially
mhm.
you're not able to, if financially you're taking a hit because you can't work, then you gotta kind of have to hustle,
I
and
work online, so I do a lot of marketing stuff online.
right.
Um,
But I mean, like people outside, like other people that can't
oh yeah,
afford to
yeah,
just, the ones that are losing their jobs and things like that, then, or the ones that
yeah,
have lost their jobs, then
yeah.
there's
So like the
hustle.
economy here, yeah, yeah. Like especially in Colombia, like the Colombian people, most people do not work office jobs. Most people sell empanadas on the street and stuff like that. So when they're only allowed to get out of the house twice a week or once a week, then like they're really screwed and they don't really have a lot of money, so they end up getting in a life of crime because they have to. So so like whoever came to our house, I guess like they needed that stuff a lot more than we did. And we
So,
like it's just things we can replace it.
and I know you do pretty good with adversity, but I just want to make sure you're doing
Yeah.
fine. So
Yeah,
all
yeah,
your
yeah. It's
belongings,
all
like
good.
your material things, were taken. Um,
Material things are gone, but like my phone was backed up. That was the most important thing. To still have like my pictures, my memories, all that stuff. That would have sucked like if my computer and my phones weren't backed up.
I was gonna say because I
So
don't.
back up your shit
Yeah,
because you never know.
that's what I was gonna
You
say.
know.
I never back my phone up. I hate having to upload things to the cloud, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I just hate doing that part.
Yeah.
But geez, now that you say it, you just never know. So yeah, back your shit
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who replaced everything in your house?
So the landlord worked with us, and then the rest of the house we started replacing stuff, or at least we're paying for it. So we're subletting the house right now. We're getting two more people in to help like pay for some of the damage and stuff that happened, like the TVs and like, the stuff that got stolen from the apartment. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, so it's like it's a tough month financially, just because like they stole all the TVs. The house had like 10 TVs. They stole like phones, computers, a lot of stuff like that. So all that has to be replaced. But we're safe. We're good. Colombia's wonderful. The people are awesome. Just if you're in Colombia, like in Latin America in general, don't be a stupid gringo and just invite a bunch of people and show them the place and just I don't know. Yeah. We were a bit stupid, so yeah.
So you think
It
that was more
happens.
of your mistake too? Like y'all
I
kept.
don't think so. I don't know. I really don't know. Could be that someone came to the house, they sussed it out, they told their friends and they came and robbed us, or it could be opportunity. Someone saw the balcony is like super easy to get to and then they watched us for a couple of weeks or months or whatever, and then they just kind of like knew our habits and routines, and they kind of struck. So it could be anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, hard to tell.
Well, I'm glad
No,
everybody's okay. I'm glad you're fine. And
no,
I mean, at least it was just material things, so that
yeah,
I know you can recover from it.
no,
I know you're able to do your hustle and
yeah,
get yourself back up on your feet and going.
yeah. And right now we have so I have a partnership with my friend Josh. He's really good. He has a really good marketing company, and he's been working on a software. And like I can't talk a lot about it, but basically what it does is that it kind of predicts like what Google wants or like how to advertise with Google. So a lot of times Google would give you data back, but the data that you get back are not necessarily the true data. Like the data is true, but like your indicators aren't always right because they want you to not get it right because the more you don't get it right, the more money you spend. And we figured some stuff out. So obviously Josh figured a lot more out than I did. But we have like a whole division right now that is going to specialize in jiu-jitsu. So this is like my side project because I'd like to give back to the community. So I've been talking to, I only called like a few gyms, people that I really know, and hopefully like we're gonna be the Jiu-Jitsu marketing company pretty soon. So let's see how it goes.
Nice. Well, I mean, like I said, I know you are always moving around and doing things. I also remember you talking about tournaments. Anything going
Yeah,
on there? Anything you can share yet?
that's on hold for now. I'm stuck in Colombia. I can't do any tournaments, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So all these were going to be back in Germany.
at least until I'm back in Europe. But like, let's see what happens with the agency. If it takes off really well, I don't know if I'll definitely go back to Europe. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and live there. Like I might just kind of hang out and travel the world and do my thing. Kind of liking this lifestyle, so let's see. Yeah,
It's a hard one to give up, man. I'm itching to get on a plane. I'm so ready to
yeah,
go somewhere and just what we do best: travel and train jiu-jitsu in different places. And that's something I'm. Oh man, it's driving me crazy now. At first it
yeah,
wasn't, but right now I'm starting to feel it already. Like, okay, things need to.
yeah,
We need to change something up because I need to get going.
yeah. Like everybody in the house, everybody in the mansion is they're all itching like to get another house in Mexico because Mexico's more open and also
Mm-hmm.
cheap. But I don't know, like I don't know if that's a good idea. So we're kind of not wanting to do that for now. We're hanging out in Colombia, and we can't really go anywhere anyway. The airports are all closed, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, keep me updated as soon as those airports open.
Uh, well, I mean, they said September, but like September is in 2 weeks, and still haven't heard anything, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And in active cases, Colombia is number 5 now, so 50 million people live here, and there's about um, half a million active cases, which is a lot. So, yeah.
I think Hawaii had made it to the second in the nation for America, but
Oh wow.
um, there's been a lot of discrepancies in the testing and the numbers. So
Yeah,
we the locals don't even know if that's necessarily true. But
yeah,
they just locked us back down too. So all our beaches and hiking trails are closed.
yeah.
Um,
Europe is locked down too. That like Spain, Italy, they closed down the clubs. They're starting to like restrict more as well. So
mm-hmm.
second wave, I guess, will be coming pretty soon. Like once the heat waves start, like once the heat waves is gone.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I
yeah.
mean,
Good times.
at least the good part of Hawaii is that our weather stays warm throughout the year. So
Yeah.
technically, we should be fine. Technically, we should have been fine this whole time. There's just been too many political things happening and all this crazy stuff that's been making things impossible. But we are hoping we are really hoping that what some people say about elections happening, once that elections happens, hopefully things somehow magically become better.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if not, I hope the professionals, the actual professionals that deal with
Mhm.
viruses and whatnot, are able to find a solution, a vaccine or something. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
point is we need stuff to start happening now and start opening up and getting back on planes and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I have like yeah. I was playing with my calculator earlier today. Um, and I do have like this conspiracy theory, right? I don't. I think the virus is real. I don't think it's not. Like I don't think it's made up or any crazy shit like that. I think it's real, and
Conspiracy
I do
theory
trust
alert.
like conspiracy theory alerts.
Yeah.
I got some Eddie Bravo shit coming up on you guys. Put on your
Right.
tinfoil hats, right? Um, I think that they can do maybe more about it. Like other countries in the world, they have enforced more restrictions to where America went like for the whole herd immunity thing.
Right.
Um, so there's a projection that by September 5th, 200 or 190,000, like let's say 200,000 people mainly old people are gonna die because of that coronavirus, right? So I read that, and then like what I started thinking of is this 200,000 people. Let's say they're like in 70s, 80s. They're old. Their life expectancy is like 7 more years on average. Okay, so 75. If you're like 70 and over, your life expectancy, like once you start getting Social Security, is about 7 years, right? So Social Security is about 1,800 a month on average. So 1,800 times 12, you get whatever that is. And then you multiply that by 200,000 people. And then you multiply that by 7 years. And what you're going to get is $2.4 trillion that Social Security wouldn't have to pay.
So your theory, your conspiracy theory, is that this is a way of controlling and saving money.
I think the virus happened, like, and it's true, and everything that like that the doctors and stuff like that say about the virus is obviously true. Like, I'm not a doctor, so
Right. I
so we
mean,
have to
we
trust the
understand
doctors.
that.
So we understand that, but I think someone in the government was like, someone in the government also understands that, and they were like, well, if they die, they die. We're gonna save a lot of money, so let's not do a lot about it. And
I see. So you think
seven
they're
years
just
from now, we would have basically culled 200,000 people that we don't have to pay Social Security to. I don't know. Maybe it's bullshit. Probably it's just a thought that I had in my head. It's entertaining. What do you think?
well, let's just say most conspiracy theories are bullshit.
Well,
but
yeah.
but I mean, I wouldn't put it past many people, you know? Like listen, the government doesn't disclose everything because then you would have people running haywire, you know?
Right.
So, either way, whatever's going on, we're not very entitled into the information because obviously we can't keep people sit for a minute, you know?
Yeah.
You can't trust humans. We cannot trust ourselves to make the right decision and the right moves. And this pandemic has been a clear, like, evidence of it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I understand wearing a mask is freaking, you know, uncomfortable, but it's
But
what you
just
have to
wear a
do.
fucking mask. My God, like.
Right.
But people are. I don't like. So.
But people don't want to, or you have other people who are like, well, no, you are affecting my rights and I have to be able to do this and that. And it's like, yes,
I think there
but
is good and bad in that.
right. I mean, yeah, like we're not supposed to
So
just sit here and take it, right? We're not sheeples. But
we're not. We
at the same
should, but
time,
we're not
if
sheeple.
it's like you got to give everybody a chance to make things right. So if they're
Yeah.
saying, look, just wear a mask, wash your fucking hands like you should be doing already, be clean for God's sake, and then things will get better. But people
So
don't want to do that.
why is America the land of the entrepreneurs? Why is it the land of the business people? Why is it the land of the risk takers? Do you know?
Is it? Is it though?
It is, and it's because it's in our DNA. So here's what happened. All the people from Europe that a few hundred years ago they decided to like get on a boat and they're like, we don't want this religious bullshit. We want to go do our own fucking country. We're gonna go to America. These guys are risk takers, right? These are guys that are like, fuck it, I'm gonna get on the boat, I'm gonna go across the world, and we'll start a new life. There's a collection of these people. That spirit is in our DNA. So so as far as business goes, and starting like, why do we have the biggest corporations? Why do we have the best business people and stuff like that? It's because of that. It's in our DNA. We're all risk takers. We don't give a fuck. That's what we are, and that's good for business. But that's really bad in a pandemic because that spirit of risk taking, when you have a whole nation doing that, it's not good. And that's why when Europe is like, hey, we're going to close everything. And people are like, yeah, okay, no worries, mate. And they close it up because they don't have that DNA that we have. That's my theory about that.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one because I am not sure I see the U.S. the same way.
Well, how do you see the U.S.?
I feel like there is a percentage of people that are like that, but I think most
It's a lot
people,
higher than in Europe.
and I think it's a lot lower.
Of risk takers.
Look, listen. This is what I saw. This is what I saw while I was living in Europe, right? A lot of younger people opening
Yeah,
up their own businesses or going out writing their own books at the age before 30, right?
yeah,
Doing, I mean, just look at Christian, right? He did this
yeah.
whole thing. Like, he went and traveled the world, wrote a book about it, and now he does camps where other people can travel the world and train jiu-jitsu with,
Right.
right? Then, you got, and I don't know her last name, but B, her name's B, and her husband, you might know them too. They're from Germany. They both wrote books. They've been
Mm-hmm.
traveling, promoting their books. They've been doing life coaching, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure with what they're doing with that because all their stuff is in German and I am not proficient in German. But I met them both at camps as well and trained with them. And they're like doing pretty big stuff right now with
Yeah.
whatever they're doing, right?
But like I'm
Then
talking like more like corporations. Like yeah, of course, Europe is catching up because of technology, and the whole world, like even the third world, has a lot more technology that allows people to be more free and to be more industrious and entrepreneurial and stuff like that. But like in the 70s and
but what
80s, when
what
when people were like, making companies, like we built Vegas in the middle of the desert. Who the
Yeah,
fuck does that?
but if you think about
Okay,
it,
maybe
who
Dubai, but
owns,
yeah.
right? That's what I was gonna tell you. Who owns a lot of the stuff in Vegas? That's a lot of oil money that's going on in Vegas. That's oil money. That is not American money.
It it
Maybe
is,
New
it is, but
York.
like Americans, they have that like when we have the money, we will take a risk. We will invest in stocks. We will open companies. We will do that sort of stuff. And to where I think other European nations are a lot more conservative.
And that's what I was trying to like that's what I was saying. Like maybe I have to come back to you on that one because I'm not sure I agree for that reason, like based on the things I've seen. Like I mean, even if you look at the UFC, the UFC tried doing
Hmm.
shit here in the States and even during the pandemic and they couldn't. And the ones that opened up the doors right away and made this huge deal, like multi-million-dollar contract or some shit like that, was Dubai.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not paying attention to the right corporations. I'm not looking deep enough, but I feel like we have a percentage,
I
of
mean, if you look
course.
at the biggest companies, if you look at the biggest companies in the world, they're American. Obviously, there's a lot of big companies in other places, but like the S&P 500, the biggest 500 companies in America are bigger. Like I would say like probably 300 out of the biggest 500 companies in America are probably the biggest companies in the world. That's what
Right.
I'm trying to say.
But what I'm looking at is individually how those companies started and how they're being run, right? So that is only a
Yeah.
percentage of a handful of people like that started that company and now they've opened it and
Mm-hmm.
I mean there's different ways you can look at it, right? Like whether
Yeah.
it's trade companies or whatever the case is that started
Yeah.
with a percentage, right? The 1% of people. But I
Mm.
also feel like the majority of people sit in a certain class where they're always expecting free stuff. So
Mm.
the mentality as a whole, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I cannot put everybody in one group or like I cannot make a blanket statement when only a certain
Oh, you can't.
percentage, you
But
know,
America is a land of opportunity. I'm not very political, but I do like to. I hate to listen to politics, but I do listen to it. But like, you got like the Republicans on the one side, they're like, yeah, super business, which is dandy and whatever. And then you have the Democrats are like after social things, and that's also good. Like we need both. And like I think that America does have a lot of social systems that people can take advantage of. You know, like there's like you can get food stamps, you can get um, yeah, you can get like help with housing, Section 8. You can get. There's a lot of things that like the government provides, and I think a lot of times people are too lazy or too stupid to like take advantage of a lot of these programs that the government offers. And I don't think that we should like blame the parties and about this like when the election comes. Like I don't know. Like I think we have a lot of stuff. Obviously, we can make it better,
Well,
but
and that's what I was saying. Like, that's why my focus is on the more common people, because those are the ones that I feel are truly driving the country in either direction, right? Either forward or to the side or whatever.
yeah.
Like there isn't a lot of like
I mean, the backbone of the American corporations is not the biggest 500 companies in the world. It is the mid-sized companies, and who works in the mid-sized companies is people like you and me. So, and that's what most businesses are in America. So with that, you're right. But because America has a lot of mid-sized corporations, it also means that people out there are opening up and they're starting businesses and stuff like that. And yeah,
and I also think that's due to the new era we're heading into, where an education, like an actual 4-year degree, is not as necessary if you find yourself having the right tools to do certain
yes,
things, like online
absolutely.
marketing, you know?
I have a master's in marketing, and I am learning every day so much from my partner, from people that I know, from reading. Like that degree in marketing did not give me anything. And everything that I'm learning in online marketing, everything that I'm doing, I think in about 5 to 10 years from now is going to be automated and I'll be out of a job. So right now, what I'm trying to do or what I'm doing is I'm investing. And it's
And and
something that I,
and that's something that I can agree with you. Like that's something that I do because
hmm
now in that aspect, yes, I do think that a lot of the new generation is heading
no,
towards entrepreneurship because they see that that's where the world is going to. But I don't
yeah,
think that's how it begun. I think if I'm not, based on history, what you were pushed to do was to become a blue collar worker. That was like your
yes,
dream. If you can make it to
but
the
that's,
second class and be a blue collar worker, I feel like that was your dream back then. And I think now the new generation has realized like, fuck no. Like I am not going to give this university thousands of dollars when I
I
could.
think it's starting, I think this is starting with the millennials, but I think that the generation after the millennials, that's the one that is really going to change things. So if you look at like schools, even how the way that schools run today, you go to your class, the bell rings, you have your lunch, the bell rings, you go back to your class. So it's just like a factory, right? And schools are taught that way because we wanted people to be obedient, to be at the right place at the right time, and to listen to that fucking bell and look at the clock.
And now this is where I'm
That's
going
not the
to.
case anymore.
Right. But let me show you, right? So now this is where I'm coming at you with.
hmm
This method of teaching has been there for a long time because, like we said, they were getting you prepared and conditioned for
Exactly.
factory work.
To work in a factory, to be a blue
Right.
collar worker. Yeah.
But the one country that has been doing something different for many more years,
Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden.
Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It,
Denmark, Sweden, Norway, they're doing that.
I
Yeah.
really want to go to Denver.
You can study whatever you want to study. Like,
Right. And that's
yeah.
that's where I go back to. Europe has been kind of like teaching people like think
Yeah.
outside the box since they're little in school. Think outside the box. Like I
Not
feel
all
like
schools are like that. And like in America, there are some charter schools that have different different things. So it's a new trend. It's popping all over first world, but it's not
But
taken over yet. But I think in the next like 20 years, it will be a thing.
right, but why do we have to wait 20 years for that?
Because people do not like change. People are used to what they're used to, and they don't like new things. If it if it's not broken, don't fix it.
And I
That's
think
why.
it might be a little bit sooner than that. I really think
I
that this
hope you're right.
pandemic, I think this pandemic is going to make people change their mind
It's gonna
on
make
a
people change
lot of
because
shit.
right now this pandemic basically created the infrastructure for people, for companies to work remotely and for people to work remotely.
I
So
I think the one thing
so
we got to change right now though. And sorry to interrupt you again, but the one thing that we're like missing, but I've kind
mhm.
of noticed is that even some millennials still have, maybe not millennials, but what's the generation that comes before millennials?
Generation
X?
X, I think,
X?
yeah. Either
Yeah.
X or Y.
Yeah. Well, whatever they call it. The ones are
Yeah.
like 30, 40s right now. Like late 30s, early 40s.
My people.
Those are still not mine. Those still
35.
have a lot of old habits from their parents. The stubbornness of no, we do things this way because they've always worked this way.
And it
And
will change.
right, so and I think once that stubbornness gets pushed out the way, and I think this pandemic's going to do that. It's going to show people like you can't stay stuck in what you
Well, this is
believe.
what this here's what this pandemic is doing. It's changing how people work. People are working from home, they're working remotely, they're working online. That's the first thing it's doing. It's allowing people to do that, but it's also allowing companies to also do that. Not only that, but they're also gonna. Sorry, there's a motorcycle outside. Also, they're gonna. It's gonna um, decrease the um, carbon footprint around the world because now not everybody has to go and drive to work every day. We're not gonna have as much traffic. I hope that's the case. Like, so let's see how that goes. And another thing that will happen, I think, a result of this pandemic, is universal. What is it? Universal income.
You mean currency?
No, so universal income means when the government. So there was like this guy. His name's Andrew Yang. He ran for president early on, and then he stopped. Um, and one of the things that he was running on was, hey, give every American citizen $1,000 a month to live. Okay. Now, a lot of Republicans might think like, oh my gosh, you're going to give $1,000 to everyone every month? You're just going to do drugs and not do anything. And yes, this is correct. Some people are just not going to do anything. But then you have a lot of artists, musicians, sports people that now can dedicate their lives to doing what they want to do. So, like with $1,000 a month without having to work, which we like, you know, which we can afford somehow. Like, I don't know how, I'm not an economist, but what would happen is that people will be inspired to do things. So if you're a mathematician, you're not going to have to work at a bank doing whatever people in banks do. You're going to actually start working on your own formulas. If you're a physicist, if you're a musician, so we're going to have a lot of time
For
that is freed
creativity.
up for people like to create things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good for the economy. Yes, it's an investment and we're going to have to pay a lot of money for it, but why not? Like, we are a very wealthy country, so why are we not using that money to our full potential? So it's like if you want to take it at a smaller scale, like you're by yourself and you're looking for a job, but you need a computer and you need a phone so that you can do that job. Yes, you can go buy drugs and that's going to totally fuck you. Or you can go buy a phone and a computer and start applying for jobs, and that's going to totally help you make even more money. So that's what I think about that.
Now, is this, where did you hear this at? Like, who's discussing this universal?
Universal income.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Yang, he's a guy that ran. He's an Asian guy, really cool. Ran early on, and then he dropped out. I think he was an independent, but it does make sense to me.
Okay.
I'm all for big businesses. I'm all for corporations. I'm all for making money. And I think that if people look at some stuff like that as an investment instead of a cost, it would really change society.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could be.
I mean,
Um,
at what point, like, how rich can a country be? Like, it gets to a point to
that's
where,
the
like, all
only
right,
part.
like we have to like spread some of the wealth. And I think
That's
socialism with like the wealth being spread is what's gonna happen eventually. But I think that capitalism is what's gonna get us there. Do you understand where I'm getting at?
right. The only thing I don't know yet either, like I'd have to come back to you on it, is how wealthy is America in reality.
America is very wealthy, so like America, of course, has a lot of debt to other countries, but every country has debt, and not every debt is bad debt. So, for example, I'm gonna do this like in a different way. So, if I borrow money at like 3% interest rate, right?
I mean,
And then I take that
I
money.
understand how the good debt and the bad debt work. Um, I'm just saying, like, I don't know
Even
exactly.
okay, even if you don't have a lot of money, okay? So let's say you have a little bit of money, okay? And you borrow money at a good interest rate. Now you have debt, okay? But then you take that money, you put it somewhere else where you are getting more interest. So let's say I'm borrowing money and I'm paying 3% interest. But I take that money, I don't spend it, I don't like act stupid with it. I don't buy beer and bitches or whatever. What do I do with it is this. I invest it somewhere else where I'm getting a better return. Now I'm getting 10% or 7% back. From that 10%, I pay 3%. That's cost of doing business. I'm left with that 7% every year, extra money. And then, so on a personal level, like whether you're trying to buy a house, yes, you're buying a house, it's costing you money, but then
Right.
you rent it out. So like a few years later, you make up the price of your house. That's good debt. There's bad debt, there is good debt. Good debt is when you borrow money and you make money from it. That's good. So if you like so you want to think about your money as soldiers, right? You're going to deploy them, you're going to take them to battle, and like my soldiers, if they're sitting in the bank, they're dying. Nothing's happening with them. The bank has actually taken my soldiers and put them somewhere else. No, what I want to do is take my own soldiers, put them in battle, and make them bring me money. That's what I want to do. And that's how everybody should start thinking. Well, not everyone, but like,
Right.
that's my
Okay.
advice.
Mm.
Yeah. That's a really weird discussion. Like the first time we talked, it was a lot more about jiu-jitsu. Second time we talked was like spiritual stuff, and now like we're talking like conspiracies and finance. Interesting.
That just means we have a wide array of topics to discuss.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I'm gonna have the time's running out, but I do want to know, especially with what happened. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
any shout outs you want to give?
Shout outs. Oh my gosh, I always have a lot of shout outs. Obviously, Kong's gym back in Germany, Oliver Meyer, my coach, Lachlan Giles, my old coach, and all my friends, all my family, everybody that I like, everybody that I always like forget to mention. Yeah, like that's all my shout outs, I guess. And if somebody is looking for a good marketing guy to help them out with their jiu-jitsu business, we do other marketing as well, but like we mainly do other stuff. But if you're interested, like as far as marketing goes, if you have a company, um, I am so sure of how good we are that if you do any business with us and you're not happy with the result, you get all your money back. That's how sure I am.
Oh, so you're
So
doing a 100% guaranteed.
Yes, that's how sure we are.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Al, for being back on the show. I'm sorry what happened to you, but it sounds like you got it under control, and I'm glad you did.
yeah, it's good. Like, sometimes you just have to embrace the suck. Like I always say, bad things happen, and we say, all right, that's gonna help us for a different situation, for a bigger situation, for something different. So it's not bad. Okay.
And that's growth speaking right there. All right,